It's a company that tests things. Like if a pharma company makes a medicine regulator like FDA or something. For example, if a food company wants to export their products to Europe or US, they need testing. They've been doing this since 1984, so 42 years in this business. And basically, they have 10 labs across India, more than 1,300 people working, and roughly 100 regulatory audits. So, talking about FY26, so the full FY26 was pretty good for them. The revenue crossed last year's, which is 348 crores, and the PAT was around 77 crores, which is 16% up from 67 crores, which was last year's, and EBITDA margin was about 35.8%, which is industry. Now, the main part is if we go back to FY20, the revenue was about 184 crores. So, in 6 years, they have been more than double the revenue. But profits have grown something like 11 times, which basically means the more revenue they add, a much larger part of it becomes the profit. Because the labs, the equipment, and the people, they're already there. Every time they get new client, that doesn't cost them much to serve. So there was one weak quarter, which was quarter three, October to December 2025. Quarter three was bit slow. Revenue was only about 100 crores, barely any growth from same time last year. And in the conference previously, they promised 500 crores annual profit, which should 400 crores, sorry, which no 500, which should be about 125 crores per quarter. So 100 crores were like very less. Why was because of two things. One, they were doing some construction and restructuring inside their own labs to create more space. That disrupted some teams, and some clients were pushed to work in later quarters. Two, there was MD, she was like very upfront and didn't make any excuses, which is honestly a good sign in management team. Then quarter four, which is January to March 2026, was their best quarter actually. Revenues was like 112 crores. Food testing was strong because that quarter is seasonally good for food, and preclinical also did well. So coming to balance sheet, Vimta Labs is almost debt free. Their debt to equity ratio is 0.01 in this financial year. In 2020, it was 0.16. So now they're essentially debt free, and they have about 65 crores of cash. For the company of this size, that's really good, and there is no interest burden, no refinancing risk, anything. And they've been spending heavily on capex, which is really good. About 99 crores in financial year 26, which is their highest ever. This the year before was 79 crores, so they're clearly investing right now. So the capex goes to two big things. One is a new big campus at Genome Valley in Hyderabad. It is they say that it will gradually fill it up in the next couple years. The second thing is they are getting into biologics testing and development. Biologics is nothing but regular medicines like paracetamol are made from chemicals, and it is simple enough to test and copy. But newer medicine like diabetics drugs, cancer drugs, like autoimmune treatments and all, they are made from living cells. They are called biologics. They are much more complex to make and test. There is a whole category called biosimilars, which are basically generic versions of these drugs. So this is actually the future of pharma globally. Every new industry is trying this out, and for Vimta, of their size, of their peers, they are the first to try this out. The global biologics market is like very massive. So Vimta, their MD says that they want to be the CRO partner for the companies that are developing these drugs. CRO is a contract, the research organization. As of May call, the equipment, everything is in the facility is ready in the new facility. Europe, India, and US. They're not signed yet. Just possibly they could sign agreements in the next quarter, and also. They also like very honest about that 27 financial is going to be a learning year. are trying out new things, and the biologics is not, they can't expect revenue in just 1 year. This is like a 3 to 5 year story. So even if it doesn't give like more revenue from that sector in the next quarter, they are not going to be afraid. And there is also opening an office in the US. It's not just a presence, pharma companies, and those companies feel more comfortable when you have someone they can meet in person on their side of the work. It's a like more than trust relationship thing. And also someone on the call asked, is it to avoid traffics, and the CFO said their services don't really get affected by traffic. It's purely being closer to clients. And this is like really smart move from the company. They get 60% of its export revenue from the US. So okay, exports almost 38 to 39% of their 36% of revenues come from overseas. In clinical research, it's 75% from overseas. So this isn't just a domestic company; they're genuinely competing globally. And important and serious regulatory submissions like NDA work and ANDA filings, etc. Sorry. And other segment, they have electronics and electrical testing segment, where they test things like drones, defense equipment, consumer electronics. And that was like a huge disappointment this year. Actually, they had some leadership exits on the business development and operations side. And they said that the issues are sorted and they're trying to pick up things. And second is environmental testing. They've actually stepped back from this. They used to do EIA, which is environmental impact assessment, but they moved away from that, and now they only do post project monitoring. And right now they are very honest that this is not a focus area, and they're not trying to make this big in the next quarter. So the risk, because biologics is a very new sector for them. If the first few projects it didn't go well, it will affect their reputation in the whole market, in the whole field. And also geopolitical stuff, the India-Pakistan tensions hit food testing in the last 2 weeks of March. US traffics tariffs also created some pharma client uncertainty earlier this year. So, and also concentration, like 90% of their revenue is from pharma and food. If there is like any big regulatory shock in either of those, it impacts them like so much. uh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Shita, how did India-Pakistan conflict affect the company? Can you shed some light on that?
No, like they have like variety of the tariffs and all got increased rather than other countries. They do exports more. So the tariffs and everything. That's what I think, but I'll check on it.
Okay,
And this was directly mentioned in the con call. Like I didn't see. I'll check.
okay.
Yeah, continuing. Yeah, so their goal was to hit 500 crores annually, as I previously mentioned. And that is why like when you see the chart, there's been very a drop because they were not able to hit that. And you know what they promised, the decrease in the chart. And also someone on the call also asked, can they expect 20 to 25% CAGR in the next 3 to 4 years? And they said they could like really aim for it, given that their core testing business is solid and new facility gives new room for them to grow, and the biologic service is also booming and it's coming online. But a lot also depends on the global environment. And all so finally Vimta Labs is a very quality like industry. The core business, pharma and food testing, is growing steadily, and it is much of cash generative. And they also have zero debt. The biologics is growth kicker and could re-rate this company efficiently if it is going good in the next 3 to 5 years. and the new facility gives them more of a physical capacity, and the management is like very honest about it, and they are delivering consistent results. So I guess this is like a really good field to invest at this point. That's it. Any questions?
Ishita, was there any spike in delivery of Vimta Labs? Because I didn't check the volume today.
uh, Today the volume increased, but yeah, overall the volume has increased.
I also wanted to share a thing which I found today. Uh, 50% of the pharma companies in India, they have uh, given like more than 20% revenue growth this year. If you see other industries, let's say Nifty 50, it's barely like 10% revenue growth. But pharma is one of the sector which has outperformed a lot compared to other sectors, and many people are thinking it's a new age industry which will have good momentum in next 5 years.
And for the question Lakshabhaya has asked, increase for 10% today is because the board has officially approved the incorporation of like the subsidiary in US. So they did that yesterday. So I guess that is the reason for it to increase 10% today.
But according to chart, I think Lux it will have a tough path to go ahead because it has very strong resistance near that level. Now I think it is at 515, right? At 540 it will have tough levels, and also at I think 600 it will have some tough level. But let's say I don't think it will give a quick momentum touch. What do you guys think? It's a good pick, but for let's say next 6 months. Hello, 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 Harish.
I personally think it will go like good after like a couple years, like one after like maybe 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. For swing trading, it won't be a good option.
What do you other guys think? Krishna, Kanav, Harish.
Thing.
What?
Nothing right now.
Kanav, let's say you are managing a fund, big fund. You are a fund manager, and your client comes and tell you about your opinions on some particular stock. Would you say him nothing? You will have some uh, bias, right? At least some bias or any idea according to your psychology.
I would say, like, as Ishita has said, that it would be a good buy for a long term, but in short term, we can't say anything because it is not like stock I have followed much. I will have to see if it is a good buy for short term or not.
Naresh, what do you think?
No, actually, even I think the same because the company is actually building its infrastructures right now, which led to the fall in its quarterly results last time, and due to those infrastructural development, and even they are getting into the new market. So they are building infrastructure and they are getting into new market which would give them more customers, so eventually they would gain more revenue. So I think in long run it would be a good stock.
See, I also have another side of the coin. See, till now the facility has not been yet made, and Ishita also said once that some of the existing orders contracts were a bit disturbed because of construction of new facility. Assuming if that's correct, obviously that's correct, but even in the this quarter of March, the sales have risen by 10%. The net profit has also increased by more than 10%, and overall the results are very good. So, assuming if there is no further upgrade in the facilities, even if it leverages the current facilities, we will still get good profits and good sales. And will that be sufficient to cross the 580 levels? I mean, even if it doesn't crosses 580 levels, it can still give something 20%, which is good in, like, let's say in 6 months. Like, I'm just sharing my opinion, guys.
Yes.
And also, investing or trading is based on future outlook, not based on past data. I mean, it is based on past data, but an investor, I mean, the FIS and EIS, they won't look at the past graph. They will look on the future outcomes of the company majorly. Should I can you please answer Laksh's question?
Yeah. So they are building a new office in US. That is the main part about that. And exports, 60% of its exports revenue is from the US, and almost 40% of their revenue is from US. Like 60% of its exports is from US, and pharma analytical, 36% of revenue is from overseas, and in clinical research 75% is from overseas. So they are like genuinely global, not just a domestic company. That's a main thing.
Guys, if you remember, last month I had shared a stock called IKS. I think Kanav maybe remembering, but do other people remember that? IKS, Inventures Knowledge Solution. Juniors, please say yes or no at least. Open your mic, open your camera.
No, no.
No? Never Dia, you raised your hand? Yeah, obviously you won't be. So, I didn't even check regarding that at least. It was a nice company. What it does is, in USA, um, basically it will have a software which will support the doctor. So, the there will be a person, like in USA, whenever you go to doctor, the doctor has to make a report or the MOM type of thing for the customer, for the patient. In India, like you just say your problem and the doctor will give you medicines, but that's not how it works in US. The it's like proper medical. So in US, the problem which they were facing was the doctor needs a lot of time to write the thing, like 20 to 25 minutes. So what this company thought was they will uh, hire the Indian guy. He will connect over Zoom call and he will listen to the whole conversation of the doctor. And by this method, it can save nearly 20 minutes of doctor per patient. And therefore, the doctor can have more patients and the healthcare company which is based in USA, it will get more revenue. And on the same side, the Indian company, that is ICAS. ICAS has to pay very less money to the video call guy who will, just record all the things and then make the report. So even the ICAS will get business and even the healthcare company hospital of USA will save a lot of time and improve their efficiency. And if you see this pattern, all the pharma companies are targeting USA. And I feel it's a win-win situation because Indian pharma companies can provide cheap benefits, affordable benefits, and yeah. Sovik, please continue.
I wanted to ask, like, if wrong doing is, then isn't, aren't they like breaking the rules there, rules and regulations?
Sovik, you are inaudible. Can you please repeat again? You were saying something of rules, but the voice was breaking.
That's why I was saying that if we're like here bypassing the rules, right?
Can you type that in chat box, Sovik? Does anyone has any other question? Okay, so Sovik has a question. Aren't they breaching the law in USA? No, Sovik, it's not like that. See, the law will be breached only when you do something which is not according to the health standards. Here, what IKS is doing is they are just, I think, if you mean the privacy thing, so I think there is a mutual privacy agreement between those patient and the company. So the IKS won't leak anything, and also the IKS guy will be trained, properly trained in the s- healthcare side in which the US company will be dealing with. So he will be slightly specialized and at least trained to understand the talk and write, will be trained to write the report. So there won't be any impact on medical side and also the
ऐसे भी
privacy.
भैया नॉन डिस्क्लोजेबल वो साइन होता है पहले हायर होने से पहले
हाँ 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 होता है कभी.
एग्रीमेंट साइन होता है
Hmm. That is also thing and therefore it won't be breaching any law. Okay, so let
ये एक
us
डिलीवरी स्ट्रेटेजी में डाउट था उसमें जैसे डिलीवरी परसेंटेज देखते हैं वॉल्यूम देखते हैं
delivery average delivery देखते हैं of what.
जैसे ना कल परसों सुदीप फार्मा की डिलीवरी वॉल्यूम तो हाई थी पर परसेंटेज कम थी मतलब
Percentage.
ट्रेडिड वॉल्यूम बहुत हाई थी डिलीवरी वॉल्यूम 30% थी तो ट्रेडिड वॉल्यूम के हिसाब से डिलीवरी वॉल्यूम तो उससे पहले वाले दिनों से तो ज्यादा ही थी पर फिर
देखो
भी
सुनो,
मतलब कुछ नहीं
अगर मान
बहुत
ली
ज्यादा थी
कि कल 1 लाख शेयर्स ट्रेड किए गए डिलीवरी में, तो आज कितने लाख डिलीवरी में किए गए?
आज 10 लाख किए गए और 30% हुई थी
तो देख, there can be some possible scenario. One can be कि जब कंपनी कोई अपने फाइनेंशियल्स बताती है या कोई न्यूज़ होती है, तो उस दिन वैसे भी जनरली जो नंबर ऑफ रेट्स है वो ज़्यादा ही होते हैं। तो जो भी ऑप्शंस वाले हैं ये उस दिन बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिव हो गए। तो हमें तो बस डिलीवरी पे देखना है। डिलीवरी क्योंकि एज वी आर सेइंग 10 टाइम्स ज़्यादा थी, तो जो अपने डिलीवरी वाले बंदे हैं वो लिमिटेड नंबर रहेंगे। दे कांट मैच द ऑप्शंस वॉल्यूम, राइट? तो अपन को बस वही देखना है कि डिलीवरी कितने ज़्यादा, कितने, हाउ मच टाइम्स इट वाज हाई, it was significantly high. So I don't think it's a fake breakout. Maybe it has to
पता नहीं
consolidate.
चला।
Maybe it has to consolidate hoga. Then the if I, delivery guys will again start buying, and there will be another spike. It can happen like a cup ban सकता है, or cup can form, and there are many good companies in which there will be multiple cups. Multiple cups will be formed as the FI and DI want multiple opportunity to consolidate that stock and buy that at that levels. And then when there's enough accumulation of FIs, they can easily give a pump in the stock. That can be also another way it can happen. I feel it's safe to be in the stock because the financials support it. Anyone has any other opinions regarding this? मतलब एक काम करना, let's pick some stock like Reliance और सन फार्मा। जब उनके रिजल्ट्स आते हैं तो देख कि डिलीवरी कितने टाइम्स, हाउ डिलीवरी इज हाउ मेनी टाइम्स हायर, and how much percent is it compared to the total volume. Check it also enough. If it's on similar lines as per Sudik Pharma, then yeah, we are in good hands. Okay, then can we move ahead to the next company?
Hello.
Yes, Amitabh, please go on.
Hello.
Yes, please go on.
बैकग्राउंड नॉइस आ रही है क्या भैया कि नहीं आ रही है?
It's manageable.
एक सेकंड बस। So I will be covering Syngene International Limited. Uh, okay. So I will be covering Syngene International Limited in a structured way. First, I will be talking about the company's overview, what it does, how it was made, and what all services it provides. Afterwards, I will be moving and talking about the sector as a whole. Then I will be moving to the financials of the company. After that, the con calls, which I have studied of the recent 2 quarters. And after that, the verdict, which I will be saying that what we should do with the company, buy or sell, or stay away from the market. So let's start. So Syngene International Limited is India's largest integrated contract research and development manufacturing organization, which is also known as CDRMO. It is one of the classification which uh, it is one of the classification which was covered in the last con call meet. So in plain terms, I can say that it is a company that global pharmaceuticals and biotech companies hire to perform drug research, development, and manufacturing on their behalf instead of doing it in the house. So the company was founded in 1993 as a standalone, not as a standalone company, but it was a subdivision from Biocon Limited. Biocon is another company, and this was because the Biocon's pharma clients were asking to start an outsourced research support, and that's why Syngene emerged as an entity that will handle that work. And it was incorporated as a separate company, and it was listed in the NSE and BSE in July 2015 through an IPO. and current market cap is around 18,000 CR, based on the current stock price, which is around 440 to 450 rupees. Talking about the relation with the Biocon, so Biocon Limited holds approximately 55% of Syngene as a promoter. Kiran Shaw, who is the founder of Biocon, uh, is also the current executive chairperson of Syngene. This She has returned to her role in FY26 last quarter, which I will be talking in the Concall section. Uh, so the key risk for the minority shareholders in Syngene is that the important discussions are influenced only by the Biocon, as it is a majority shareholder. Now talking about the services that Syngene provides, the first one is the CRO side, which is the research side, which includes medical chemistry, biological testing, discovery, drug metabolism study, and other things. The second side is the CDMO side, which is the manufacturing side, which includes small molecule API manufacturing, large molecule biologics manufacturing. The third is drug production manufacturing, which is converting APIs into finished dosage like capsules and injections. And the fourth one is the new capability, which is ADC. ADC is antibody drug
It's
conjugates.
fine. It was
If there is
recording.
anyone who knows what is ADC,
It's still on. Can you repeat another?
ADC is antibody drug conjugates.
Antibody defect biologic and
Okay,
seems
so
very
it is
nice.
essentially a targeted cancer therapy. It is like it attaches a toxic payload to an antibody that finds cancer cells specifically and then kills them.
Okay.
So Syngene has now built an end-to-end capability so that they can manufacture it from the starting to the end in their Bangalore facility. So this is a new thing. And uh, so who they serve? So Syngene serve about 400 plus active clients, out of which they cover 14 clients who are the top 20%. Uh, sorry, out of which they are top 20 global pharmaceutical companies. Geographically, their main income source is from export. Around 80 to 85% of their income is from export, and the rest all is from India only. In that also, USA is the largest source of revenue. After that, there is Europe and then Japan. Like around FY26, they closed a revenue of 3,740 CR, and out of which 3,365 CR is from exports and 180 CR is from domestics. They have a large working capital, not a very large working capital. They have around 8,000 CR of working capital, so they are from the ratio they have highly
No internet.
राइट बट लास्ट 5 to 10 years से कंपनी ने काफी इन्वेस्ट करा है एंड दिस इज द
Uh, nothing is working. मीटिंग क्लब ये फाइनेंस की बात है. नहीं अबे नहीं भाई ऐसा कुछ नहीं. नहीं नहीं. मैं क्लब का प्रेसिडेंट हूँ फाइनेंस का. आई मीन वाइस. क्या क्या 180 डिसी नहीं मतलब उससे भी गीगा चार्ट क्लब. हाँ. भाई 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 इंटरनेट नहीं है. मुझे वो समझ नहीं आता है कैसे रैंडमली जाके हाय बोलो बात वही कर, अरे वही इम्पोर्टेंट है भाई, वही करना पड़ेगा।